What's going on, you guys? So check it right. Shane Eagle just dropped his third studio album, Akira, and man, are there quite a few things to discuss. Now, coming off his previous drop, Green, Shane came into this release with a lot of eyes and ears on him, pretty much having listeners anticipating whether he was going to deliver a really good album or not, and I must say he truly did. Now, the album consists of 14 tracks with features from J-Tech and Santi, who Shane has worked with before, and sonically the album sounds amazing. And if you've been listening to Shane since the Yellow days, you'll know that the production he usually goes for is more on the mellow side, and with Akira, the album sounds really laid back and chill for the most part, having that lo-fi feel to it. I mean, just listening to it sounds like he took elements from both Green and Yellow on the production side of things, but lyrically it reminded me of how he was during his Dark Moon Flower days. Now, with the album sounding the way it does, it's definitely not commercially viable, and it's obvious that he wasn't chasing any hits. It just sounds like he wanted to construct a solid body of work that his true fans would enjoy. And if you've never really been a supporter of Shane's music, I don't really expect you to enjoy Akira, but with that said, music can grow on you over time. Now, besides the fact that this is a rap album that Shane gave us, it felt more like an experience with him giving us a piece of his soul, which he makes mention of throughout the album. I mean, on Mutants, he goes on to say, "I took my face off the cover so you can listen to my soul. This is whole." And on Magic, he says, "This is not an album, this is part of my soul, so when you hear it, just consider it gold. These are the stories that's never been told." And he continues by saying, "May the light through my soul shine brighter than a billion suns." And on Major Desire, he finally says, "Treat this album like an extension of me, something valuable, something priceless, something you could reference as like a gift from the creator." So with Akira, the album also felt like Shane was giving us an inner look into his psyche, with him viewing himself as a superhero in his own tale. I mean, on Krypton, he pretty much makes it known that he feels like Clark Kent, who is famously known as Superman. And on Mutants, which references the X-Men from Marvel, Shane also says, "I'm something out of a comic book, one of one like the X-Men, and nobody fucking with Dr. Doom." And with the album being titled Akira, he makes mention of several Dragon Ball Z references, with him going red like Kaioken on Healing Times Rise. He also makes mention of being on that Ultra Instinct, just like Goku did back in Dragon Ball Super. And lastly, on Are You Alright, he makes mention of never falling off because he's on a flying Nimbus. And that's the thing about Shane and how his career has been perceived lately. A lot of listeners view him as fallen off, but he still considers himself as the best rapper currently. I mean, throughout certain records, Shane pretty much lets that be known when he says the following lines: "Do you know what it takes to be the illest MC alive? Yes, I do. Now watch me fly." As well as also saying, "The only thing you niggas in control of is watching me proceed to be the greatest rapper that you've ever seen." And he also says, "If I could go back in time to show you, I would be the best amongst those five. So fast forward time, I'm still the greatest rapper alive." And on Healing Times Rise, he also says, "Take possession of my mind, now there's 6 zeros on the line. Why the fuck you think I rhyme for hoes paging all the time, or to be the greatest artist on my time? It's an artistic gift. There's a universal shift. I'm going from the underdog to the greatest artist to do this shit." So despite him receiving a lot of criticism from fans, especially on the topic of the Big Three, where he was always being compared to the likes of Reese and Nasty, which doesn't seem to be the case anymore, Shane doesn't seem to acknowledge those negative comments and still believes in his capabilities. I mean, the nigga feels like he's Muhammad Ali on the mic, so you know what type of time he's on. Now, with Shane still believing in his skills and acknowledging that he's still the best rapper currently, he views his position in the game as it's him versus himself, and that the rest of the game is pretty much nothing to him. And he makes mention of this on several occasions throughout the album. I mean, on Mutants, he says, "I smoke a spliff and laugh at rappers, man, they comical." He continues by saying, "It's ego versus the rest, you know how that goes. I made it out the lion's den with rappers on my plate." He also says, "Niggas think they fly, but I'm the king of the sky. Giving out free smoke, I ain't even high." And continues by saying, "Yeah, time ticking, don't be blind with it. It's a rap buffet in my kitchen." And he finally says, "The game be mine and I'm taking it back. These flows are scorching, rappers exhausted." Now on Magic, he also says, "Niggas are playing themselves thinking they're sky as I am, devouring everything in my path like 100 lions." And on Major Desire, he also says, "This, that, I just put up in your city and shut it down shit, cause I'm all the greatest tied up into one. Fuck your top 5, I'm one of none. I'm about to take it further than where the greats left off." And with healing times rise, he also says, that'll be the last time you mention my name with whack rappers again. I'm one of one, my bars be weighing a ton. I came from the slums, but I'm not going back. If niggas ain't fucking with ego, then I know they smoke crack. Then I know they on that. Then I know they don't know rap. Why you talk about stats? Let's talk about how many souls I cleansed. Now, I'll admit, this is the type of shit I needed to hear Shane come with. I mean, with niggas speaking down on his name lately, he needed to come with this type of energy and remind niggas who Shane Eagle is and why he was regarded as one of the best amongst his peers. And hearing him spit that last verse on Healing Times Rise definitely reassured me that this nigga can still come with the heat if need be. Now, with Shane feeling like he's still the best and that no other rappers compared to him, to me it seems like he feels that way because he's content with where he's at in life, pretty much moving at his own pace. But more specifically, he feels like he's got God on his side. And with him starting off the album with a prayer on Shiru's interlude, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the album. Now, his connection to God is mentioned throughout the album with lines like, God got my back, who the fuck are y'all? God got my back, then how could I lose? On Magic, he also says, do you realize they want us to be unemotional beings to distract us from the distortion and trauma we see? Sweep it under the carpet, leave your crib dirty. A spiritual cleanse will show you, my maker, that I'm still worthy. And he continues by saying, moving on God's hand, you know they can't touch him. And on Major Desire, he also says, me and God, we made a bet. I asked him to show me how good it can get. It's God speaking, you better listen. I killed all the noise and I laid it to rest. I'm simply the best and I'm a rise. And with African poetry, he goes on to say, got God on the team, spiritual beings, flows and energy following me. And on Ali, he says, when life gets scary, know that it's gonna pick up. Hope you hear me. I just ask God to come near me, cause I can only work for the light. And he continues by saying, thanking God for what he done for me. Thank you, God, what you done for me. And finally on Krypton, he also says, I talked to God, he sent me back. He said I need to erupt. He wanted me to erupt. Now I pulled up. So what? So it's clear that Shane feels secure in how he maneuvers, as he has the Holy Spirit watching over him. And that seems to be the overarching theme of the album. Despite him feeling like he's still the best and that no one compares to him, he's had to deal with a lot of criticism and still is, but with him paying no mind to the negative energy, he's focusing on the positives and moving according to God's time, which I find admirable. Now overall, if I'm being honest and comparing Shane to himself, this isn't his best work, but it's still a really good album from him nonetheless. I mean, he was really rapping on majority of the records, and although his delivery might have not been the best on some of the tracks, where it sounds like he was too relaxed on the beats, the messages that he was trying to convey on each record is what I found more compelling. I do need to mention that he actually listened to some of the criticisms from Green and actually gave us full-length records on this one, so I do appreciate that. Hopefully he listens to other criticisms and actually puts some more effort into promoting Akira. I mean, we need visuals, merch, interviews or podcasts, and we need to see this nigga outside, man. I can't stress that enough. The fans want to support Shane so much, but it's on him whether he wants to redeem what he once had and give the fans what they've been wanting. Now, overall, the album is really good, as I mentioned before, and I'll definitely be running this one back for the foreseeable future. In the meantime, I definitely have Mutant, Magic, Krypton, and Real Love on high rotation. So you guys let me know which tracks are your favorites. But with that said, you guys let me know your thoughts on this. Are you enjoying Akira by Shane Eagle, or was it a miss for you? Comment down below. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to hit that like button if you found the content dope, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's on to the next one. Peace.